Hey friends, it's been some time since I last updated my video. It's, well, in my usual cadence anyway. Um, it's because I was out of town. I was in Seattle and I was attending a training for Buddhists, and I'm back. And this training was particularly kind of you know, they were very strict. So we didn't have access to cell phones and no basically digital anything, which is basically why I wasn't able to record any YouTube videos. But now that I'm back, I just got back yesterday, and I turned on my cell phone yesterday and then looked at all the messages that I got over, email, and the YouTube comments and the discussions on Reddit, and basically I caught up with all the things that people in my YouTube digital world had to say. And since I'm back, wanted to just spend some quick time recapping the most common question, or not really a question, but the most common kind of a complaint or like a challenge, so to speak. And the challenge is, I can't because XYZ, right? So, whether it be going out to more social events, but I can't because I feel tired. And, it being more engaged in schoolwork, I can't because I'm not interested, right? And going to, like applying to more jobs or like working out more, I can't because what if other people watch me, right? I can't because I'm just so stressed. So the thing is, when you can't, you can't. So there's no kind of like there's no lingering, so to speak. So what I'm saying is, suppose I asked you to fly without an airplane. I just asked you to fly like a bird, right? Everyone knows it's impossible, right? And I'm not saying like, hey, like develop a contraption so you can fly like a jetpack. No, I'm saying simply, hey, can you fly? You can't. So even if I criticize you, you can't fly. It doesn't really mean anything because nobody can fly, right? Because of gravity. So I am having a hard time financially, and I ask you, hey viewer, hey YouTube, I'm having some really difficult time in my personal life, and I'm having trouble paying my mortgage payments. So can you lend me $100? So now, depending on your relationship with me, depending on how you view me, depending on many factors, you might or you might not, right? But one of the other really common troubles, challenges I get is like people pleasing tendencies, and you can't say no to things, right? And so you don't want to give me $100, but when you have that tendency, right? But I want to not give you, but I can't, right? Because I'm gonna feel really bad. I can't. So you would give me $100, but then you would feel absolutely horrible, or you've had enough of that, right? You're like, sorry, Billy, I can't give you $100. But then you're feeling really bad because what if Billy hates me now? And like you feel really uncomfortable. And these things happen in life very frequently, right? But what if I was like, hey YouTube, I want to go on space with Jeff Bezos, and I need like a $5 million. So could any one of you Venmo me $5 million? Now, that you can't, right? There's no reason for you to give me $5 million for my pleasure. So for that, you're like, sorry, I really can't. I don't have the money, right? And so if you do, that's a different case. But most people don't have $5 million they want to give other people for nothing. So because of this, it's like, so there's no dilemma here. There's no problem here. You can't, right? So what's the difference? In one situation, you really could not. But in the other situation, you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to, so it's in that lingering state. which means it's not impossible. It's not that you cannot, right? Whether you want to or not, we're not really interested in that right now. But we're strictly talking about can or can't right now, right? So, you want to, go out and live your life, but you're too busy, so you can't. If you can't, then there's no dilemma, right? I want to live 24 hours. Well, 25 hours. You can't. So you could feel bad about the fact that you can't get 25 hours, but it's kind of waste of your time, right? It's like you want to be able to fly and teleport to work, but you have to drive, right? So the more you torment yourself about that, you know the silliness of it, right? So either move or, quit work or work remotely. But you can't. And this can't is the limiting can't. It's not factually impossible, but it's this idea in your mind that you can't. There's a very big difference between you clearly understanding, no, I can, but I don't want to, versus your mind being wishy-washy about, I feel like I really can't. Right? So, many people, they can't bungee jump, right? Because they're too afraid. But, scientifically, right? If somebody may knock you out unconscious and then put, bungee lapel on you and then put you down, you will bungee, right? And everybody has the capacity to bungee. So it's not that you can't. Reality world-wise, you can. But you might have reasons why you don't want to. That's fine. We're not interested in the wants right now. But it's that you have to understand that it's a limiting can't. Which means it's actually possible, but you are confusing with actual can't. Actual can't leaves no room for debate. Limiting can't does nothing but delude you and put limitations on your life. So, whenever you find yourself saying, I can't, it's very, very important to verify that belief. Can I really not? I don't want to. Yes, you don't want to, but you can, right? But I feel like I can't. Yes, that's valid. But why not? Why can't you? And this inquisitive process is you getting to confront what your actual limitation is. Is your actual limitation reality? Do you want to warp into a black hole and teleport? That's actual. You can't do that in reality. Therefore, yeah, I agree, you can't. But if it's like, I can't eat spicy food, you totally can. It's just that you will have an upset stomach, right? So that's a trivial one. But I want to start my business, but I don't think I can. Really? Because all it took is one website visit to legalzoom.com to set up my business, and that was it. I can't apply to that job. Really? All it takes is one application. And so, the more you identify these limiting can'ts, and the more you recognize that, oh wait, it's possible, but I don't want to, the more you actually deal with what's actually blocking your progress. You don't want to, right? That's fine. So now you can decide, yeah, don't. But I have to. Again, have to is a strong word, right? When I drop this, it has to fall, right? So that's a actual has. When I eat, what I eat has to come out of me somehow. Either I throw up or I poop, right? Not all of it, because some of it gets digested, but that's a have to, right? When I slice my hand like this with a knife, I have to bleed, right? Given that the knife is sharp. So, I can't. I can, but I don't want to. Good. Then don't do it. But I have to do it. I don't have to do it. Then what? These are the decisions. These are the choices. These are the questions. This is the methodology to develop in your mind, to actually solve problems so that you can move forward with your life. There's a peak in a mountain that you want to go to, right? And now I'm sitting at home and I'm looking at that peak and I'm like, man, I really want to hike that. I really want to go up to that peak. And if it was me, I would go so fast because it's so beautiful, and oh man, I'm gonna have such a good time. I can keep thinking like this for 10 days. And I won't get to the peak. Why? Because all I'm doing is thinking. I'm not doing anything. So I go up to hike, right? But the peak is this way, and I'm going this way. I'm not gonna get to the peak because I am misguided. I'm climbing up, but there's a different peak I'm climbing up. Again, this won't get me to this peak. Why? Because I'm misguided. And this peak has a shortcut. It's very steep. There's a longer route. It's easier, but it takes a long time. But if you go up the steep way, and you're like, holy fuck, this is so difficult. I can't do this. And then you quit. It's not that, if you take the shortcut, you have to understand the implications of taking the shortcut because it's steeper, right? You take the easy route, but then you're like, what the fuck? Why does it take such a long time? I'm gonna go back home. Then again, you're misunderstanding the route that you're in, right? You're prioritizing ease over time. But if you can't take that, you're not gonna get to the peak. It's simple like that. There's a peak that you want to get to. First of all, do you even want to get here, or is this like a vague idea that sounds good to you? If it is something that you want, why can't you go? Why do you have to go? And if you have to go, how are you gonna get there? Are you gonna take the fast route? Then expect stress. How are you gonna take the easy? Then expect time. These are the actual thoughts that will really help you get to your desired destinations.